Yo guys, what's up? Still aka Christian Deputy, and this is going to be the weekly recap for the first week for the second group of 16 players. So, with that out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So first up, I have the Eternal Silientes against the Morale Mantas. The Entes were able to pick up a 1-0 victory. They go ahead and bring Tornadus Therian, Megaglade, Slowbro, Avalugg, Steelix, and Drodagon. And the Mantas bring Landers, Therian, Tapu Koko, Alolan Raichu, Galarian Weezing, Alolan Marowak, and Mega Heracross. So, for leads, the Entes lead with Tornadus as the Mantas lead with Tapu Koko. So, turn one, the Tornadus outspeeds Koko and is able to click U-turn to go into their Steelix as the Koko just clicks Taunt. Then just to U-turn out into Landers against the Steelix. The Steelix just goes and clicks Steel Roller to get rid of Terrain. And then switches out on the Landers with Stealth Rock into Avalugg. Here, the Mantas go ahead and U-turn out into their Marowak on Avalugg's Rapid Spin, since it is immune. So they aren't able to get the rocks up as they sub up while they go Slowbro. Then Marowak is able to get a Swords Dance off as the Slowbro slacks off at 88% instead of just breaking the sub. I mean, I guess expecting them to just click Shadow Bone, right? Which they do. And then, eating it up with that Kebia berry or Kasib berry that they brought. But they are to it KO'd by the combination of Swords Dance and 2 Shadow Bones. Of course, that's after they break the sub. So then they switch out their Marowak when the Tornadus comes in. Tornadus clicks Knockoff as they go into Mega Heracross, so it takes no damage since it does resist the attack and does not lose its item since it is holding the Mega Stone. So here, Mega Heracross clicks Rock Blast, doing a solid amount, nearly half, or well, not nearly, a little bit more than half on the Mega Gallade. They then switch out into Landorus as the Gallade clicks Swords Dance. And then Landorus is knocked out by the +1 triple axle after the Intimidate. Here the Mantas go back into Koko as the Entes go ahead and switch in their Steelix on a U-turn, going into Heracross to claim the knockout. That isn't before the Steelix is able to get a last-minute Stealth Rock up to pressure his opponent from switching. So Steelix is knocked out by the close combat there as he goes back into Tornadus. So Torn just goes ahead and clicks U-turn expecting a switch in, and so they go into Gallade, who then misses the knockout on the Marowak by 2% with a Zen Headbutt, who then knocks it out with a Shadow Bone. And then Tornadus is finally able to knock out the Marowak with a U-turn as they go Drodagon into their opponent, who then decide to go into their Weezing with Neutralizing Gas. They just click a Strange Steam twice and get the knockout on it. Oh, actually no. Or will attempt to, but they do switch out after they take that hit. Tornadus then comes in. So Tornadus does come in on the second Strange Steam. Takes it very nicely and then clicks Surge Wave to knock it out. Here the Mantas make a strange play knowing that the Tornadus is scarfed, and they just go ahead and sack their Tapu Koko to the next Sludge Wave. After that, the Mantas just go ahead and go into their Raichu, click Rising Voltage to knock out the Avalugg that comes in. Drodagon is able to click Sucker Punch on that Raichu to knock it out. You just do it again to get some little bit of chip on the Heracross, who knocks it out with Pin Missile, and then the Tornadus comes back in at the end just to click Hurricane, thankfully not missing, and handing them the 1-0 victory. So, Tornadus is able to get 4 knockouts this game, and then Gallade and Drodagon share 1. And for the Mantas, Marowak and Heracross are able to share 2 knockouts, and Raichu is also able to get 1 for themselves. So, next game, we have the Glaceons against the Max Meowstics. The Meowstics are able to take a 5-0 victory. The Glaceons bring their Edge Greninja, Ferrothorn, Togekiss, Crocodile, Rotom Wash, and their Galarian Mr. Vibe. And the Meowstics bring Megalopony, Sylveon, Garchomp, Moltres, Vileplume, and Vaporeon. So here, just pretty standard lead. Lopunny lead into the Mr. Mime, just clicks U-turn on the Togekiss coming in to go Sylveon. Just clicks that nice Hyper Voice, gets a lot of damage on the Rotom. With a Baton Pass it out on a Toxic from Rotom Wash, which Vileplume is able to take nicely. So here, Vileplume, just being a big threat, predicts the Ferrothorn wanting to come in, clicks Hidden Power Fire, then over predicts clicking Giga Drain, letting the Ferrothorn get Stealth Rocks up, but it does just knock it out with the Hidden Power Fire. Togekiss comes back in to click Air Slash as he stays in to Sludge Wave it, and then they both double switch. The Glaceons go into their Crocodile, and the Meowstics go into their Moltres, who is knocked out by Crocodile's Stone Edge. In comes Megalopony just to click the return, knocking out the Togekiss. And then here, the Glaceons do bring in their now revealed Scarfed Mr. Mime, and just barely misses the knockout on the Megalopony, who then just knocks it out with a U-turn, going into their Sylveon, which basically the entire rest of the team can't deal with, a combination of Sylveon and Vileplume, so he just goes into Vileplume on the Toxic again, as the Rotom clicks Volt Switch, going into Crocodile, who takes a massive chunk from the Giga Drain and heals back up to 70%, and then just Giga Drains for the knockout again. Here, they go into Greninja, attempting to knock it out, but the Meowstics do go ahead and go into their Vaporeon to tank that hit. They go ahead and click Wish and go back into their Vileplume as they switched in Rotom. Right, so now the Vileplume is able to fully heal back up. Well, not fully, but it does gain up to 3/4 of its health. Greninja attempts to Dark Pulse it off of a Rotom Volt Switch, but isn't able to get the flinch or the knockout, where Vileplume just kicks Giga Drain twice and is able to knock out the rest of his team. So here, Crocodile is able to get the 1 knockout on the Moltres with the Stone Edge, and then for the Meowstics, Megalopony is able to take 2, and Vileplume goes ahead and takes 4 for its first week of play. Next, we have the Los Angeles Rampardos against the Chicago Toros. The Rampardos go ahead and bring Dragapult, Jirachi, Vandabuzz, Hitmontop, Raquanet, and Darmanitan, and the Toros bring Clefable, Kyurem, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Slowking, and Mega Houndoom. So here, the Rampardos lead Araquanid into the Tauros Kyurem, who clicks, free freeze dry, but the Rampardos go ahead and go into their Jirachi just to set rocks up and then die to an Excadrill, clicking Drain Punch. When you have something like a Mandibuzz that easily checks the Excadrill, and then Jirachi being very important to deal with Clefable, Slowking, Kyurem, and even Tyranitar potentially, so it's a pretty bad turn for them as they just go into Darmanitan, click Superpower, expecting Tyranitar or Mega Houndoom to come in, since Houndoom does have the Flash Fire ability. But Slowking comes in, they click U-turn into their Dragapult as Slowking teleports into Tyranitar. So Dragapult takes a little bit of chip, tries to U-turn out, but it is trapped by the Tyranitar Pursuit. As they go into Hitmontop, click Triple Axle, barely miss the knockout on it by 1%, and they get their rocks up as a last ditch effort. And then they just go ahead and click Brutal Swing just in case something like Slowking wanted to come in against them. Here the Tauros go into Clefable as the Rampardos go ahead and switch out into their Mandibus. They do get a Rapid Spin off. Clefable goes ahead and teleports out and brings in the Excadrill instead of something like the Kyurem, which is also strange. Clicks Rapid Spin, and then instead of knocking out the Excadrill here, which would have helped his entire team out, so it didn't have to deal with speed in the sand, they click Defog instead of Foul Play. I mean, maybe they didn't have it, but here they do get flinched off of an Iron Head, as they then click Swords Dance on a Roost. And then again they click Iron Head and they get flinched again as it lives on 1% of the life orb. And then they take a double knockout, right, where Excadrill faints to the life orb recoil and Mandibus faints to the Excadrill. Here they go into Araquanid and Slowking as Araquanid goes ahead and clicks Lunge into the Kyurem, who then does 3/4 of its health with a Freeze Dry just to set up Sticky Web. Goes into Hitmontop to click the Mach Punch to knock it out. Then here is where the strange plays come in. Hitmontop goes ahead and clicks Triple Axle, does about 84% to the Clef, and then it clicks Wish instead of just knocking it out with Moonblast. Here the Hitmontop does miss the Triple Axle, but it does go ahead and click the Brutal Swing on the Slowking. Right, it takes around 49% to that. Then they just click Brutal Swing again to knock out the Clefable here, I believe. So I'm not sure if at this point under Sticky Web the Hitmontop is slower or not, but a Mach Punch would have been really cool to see. I don't know if they just got greedy forgetting that the Houndoom can Sucker Punch, right, and click the Close Combat or something like that. But or if the Houndoom was still faster and the Sucker Punch just beat the Mach Punch, right? I don't know that, but so Mega Houndoom gets the knockout there on Hitmontop, clicks Sucker Punch against the Darmanitan, and then Slowking being at 85% is out of range of anything the Darmanitan can do, so it clicks U-turn, and then Slowking clicks Skull just to knock it out. So, really cool Hitmontop set here, is able to get 3 knockouts for itself. Darmanitan gets 1, and then again nothing gets the knockout for the Excadrill Life Orb recoil. And for the Tauros, Excadrill is able to take 2 knockouts, and Kyurem, Tyranitar, Slowking, and Mega Houndoom are all able to share 1 with each other. Next, we have the Machinator Arcanites against the Scumpunk. The Arcanites do go ahead and win 2-0. They go ahead and bring Mega Scizor, Conkeldurr, Melodic, Magneton, Alakazam, and Golem. As the Scumpunk go ahead and bring Mega Blastoise, Scrafty, Noivern, Morpeko, Zoroark, and Toxtricity. So here, easily see a team very weak to Conkeldurr, so that's what they go ahead and lead. They lead Conkeldurr into a Noivern. Noivern goes ahead and clicks the U-turn as Conkeldurr clicks Ice Punch, right, doing a lot of damage to the Morpeko, who then clicks Fake Out just to get a little bit of chip before it goes down to a Mach Punch. They then bring Noivern back in and get a critical hit Air Slash on what was revealed to be an Assault Vest Conkeldurr with the Frisk. So it does take a nice 69%. of damage, and then the Noivern is knocked out by Kilder's Ice Punch. Here, Scrafty just goes ahead and clicks Fake Out again as Conkeldurr goes ahead and clicks Mach Punch just to get some nice little chip before it goes down to a knockoff. Alakazam comes in, just goes ahead and clicks Dazzling Gleam. And then the Toxtricity comes in with the Sucker Punch, which is not the Toxtricity revealed, as the Alakazam clicks Psychic and it is immune to it. So, as it tries to switch out, Zoroark, that is under the disguise of Toxtricity, is able to knock it out with a Pursuit. And then Golem comes in, Zoroark clicks U-turn, and they go into their Mega Blastoise. They switch out as the Blastoise goes ahead and clicks that Water Pulse, which Magneton takes really well. Then Toxtricity comes in, goes ahead and clicks that Fire Punch, which is a 2-hit KO at the range the Magneton is at, but they do go ahead and switch out into their Golem just to make sure it doesn't get knocked out by the Fire Punch. Golem here goes ahead and clicks Explosion on Toxtricity's Volt Switch, which, I mean, ground type immune to electric, I don't know. And it's also burned, like Mega Blastoise was pretty safe here, even under Explosion, but it is a normal gem, so that also could have done a lot about that. Here they both just send out their Scizor and their Zoroark, who was under the disguise of the Blastoise. Clicks 2 Sucker Punches, puts the Scizor on 40%. Blastoise comes in, takes a dual wing beat from the Scizor, clicks Dark Pulse, where Scizor lives on 1%. And then Blastoise knocks it out with the next Dragon Pulse. And then at the end, Melodic is able to knock out the Mega Blastoise with the Dragon Pulse. So, Conkeldurr able to take 2 knockouts, and then Mega Scizor, Melodic, Alakazam, and Golem all able to take 1. And then for the Skunpunk, Mega Blastoise, Scrafty, and Zoroark are able to pick up 1 knockout for each other. And then again, Golem knocking itself out to that explosion doesn't give credit to any of the opposing team's Pokemon. Next we have the komos against the Toxic Tyrantrums. The komos do get a 1-0 victory against the Tyrantrums, bringing Corviknight, Mega Gardevoir, Infernape, Seismitoad, Vikavolt, and Gengar. And the Tyrantrums do bring Tapu Fini, Zapdos, Victini, Mega Tyranitar, right? Zygarde 50%, and Cobalion. So here, they go ahead and lead Gengar against the Victini. Both of them switch out, one expecting Scarf and the other one, weak to the Gengar. So, they go ahead and switch, one into Seismitoad, the other into the Tyranitar, and I do believe they just trade Stealth Rocks here. Yep. Here, the Tyrantrums go ahead and switch out their Tyranitar into Fini, expecting the Water attack, which is the Scald. Fini tanks that really well. Fini then goes ahead and clicks Natured Madness on the Vikavolt switch-in. As it then switches out, Vikavolt just clicks Roost to make sure it stays healthy. And then after that, the Zygarde switches out, fearing a potential Hidden Power Ice into Victini, but the komos just go ahead and click Bug Buzz, doing a solid chunk to the Victini. So then here it is revealed that the Victini is special, clicks that Blue Flare, and then, really nice play from the komos, expecting the Grass attack onto their Seismitoad, which does go ahead and come out. They go into their Infernape to tank the Grass Knots, and then you turn out into their Vikavolt. Zapdos here does get a critical hit, Hidden Power Ice, it looks to be, as the komos just go ahead and click Volt Switch and switch into their Mega Gardevoir and knock out the Zapdos with the Hyper Voice. Cobalion comes in to try and revenge kill the Gardevoir, but in comes Corviknight to easily tank that close combat from it. Really nice play to predict something else coming in. Click close combat again, as they roost. Here, the Tyrantrums go into their Fini on the Corviknight's second roost, expecting another close combat. Fini goes ahead and clicks knockoff on Corviknight's U-turn, going into their Gengar. Here, they overpredict the Tyranitar coming in. They click Focus Blast that misses on Fini. Fini is able to get a knockoff off on Gengar, knocking off its Life Orb. So now it doesn't have the damage to knock out the Tyranitar. So Gengar doesn't overpredict, clicks the Sludge Wave, but since he did reveal the Focus Blast, he now wants to go into the Tyranitar, expecting the Sludge Wave play. Here, Focus Blast doesn't miss, but since it doesn't have that Life Orb, it isn't able to put the Tyranitar into range, and then is knocked out by Pursuit. Infernape comes in, clicks U-turn to knock it out, and goes back into their Corviknight. Here they go into their Victini, clicking the Blue Flare, taking some... the Victini goes ahead and clicks Blue Flare into the Seismitoad switch in, and it is knocked out by Sandstorm damage after taking the rocks. So here they go into their Zygarde as the komos just go ahead and sack their Seismitoad. They go into Mega Gardevoir next, get a really nice Hyper Voice off on the Cobalion, who then clicks Close Combat again, expecting that Corviknight to want to come in, and then just knocks it out with the next one. Here they go ahead and go into their Infernape, who just clicks Earthquake. And then they go Fini, try and get a knockout off on it as they get chipped by another Earthquake with Moonblast. Here the komos go into Gardevoir, get the knockout again with the Hyper Voice as Zygarde comes in. They go ahead and click Extreme Speed to knock out the Gardevoir, and then Vikavolt is able to tank the next Extreme Speeds, right? And just stalls it out of power points and is able to win the game like that. So Gardevoir and Infernape were both able to get 2 knockouts each, and then so they don't get the knockout on Victini or Zygarde, so that's why they only are shown to have 4. Then for the Tyrantrums, Zygarde is able to get 2 knockouts for itself, and then Fini, Tyranitar, and Cobalion are all able to get 1 each. Next, we have the Orlando Magic Bouncers against the LA Lapras. The Lapras do take a solid 6-0 victory. Bouncers bring Gligar, Zeraora, Chandelure, Absol, Nidoking, or Mega Absol, Nidoking, and Metagross, as the Lapras do bring Melmetal, Latios, Shaymin, Mamoswine, Megapixar, and Blastoise. So this game was a tough one for the Bouncers. I think this one I can just summarize pretty quickly. They lead Metagross and Mamoswine. It has Mamoswine clicks Earthquake on the Metagross's Meteor Mash. Mamoswine does get to live on a Focus Sash, and Metagross barely lives on like 9%. Metagross switches, or Mamoswine switches out into Shaymin, expecting another Meteor Mash, but the Bouncers do go ahead and just get their Stealth Rock up. Very nice play. And then is knocked out by Seed Flare. Here, very unfortunately, Scarf Chandelure is revealed, and it does miss a Fire Blast on the Shaymin, who gets to Earth Power it down to 32%. And then they get to keep their Shaymin as well, because they do go ahead and go out into their Blastoise. They do make that play. Very unnecessary risk, You know, that's something you need to do. But they do get rewarded for that. So Blastoise comes in, clicks Rapid Spin, knowing that it is locked into the Ghost attack, as Zeraora comes in for the Bouncers. Shaman comes back into Zeraora, clicking a knockoff on it, and then Shaman is able to just click Earth Power as the Chandelure comes in and gets knocked out by it. Here, Mega Absol clicks a Swords Dance on a Seed Flare, and then clicks Sucker Punch instead of Knockoff or like any other move that would have been able to knock out the Shaman there, as its Synthesis, it heals up to full with the Synthesis. As it heals up to full with the Synthesis. As it heals up to full with the Synthesis, and then gets knocked out by the next Earth Power since it was in range of that. Goes into Zeraora, clicks Volt Switch, doesn't really do anything as they heal back up again in the Gligar, and then from here it's just Shaman knocking everything out. Right, like they attempt to go Nidoking as it heals, they switch out into their Latios, click a Sludge Bomb. Latios takes attack somewhat well, you know, taking just a little bit under half. Zeraora comes in on the switch in on the Psyshock, clicks Knockoff again on Shaman. Shaman just clicks Seed Flare, and then Earth Power on Nidoking, knocks it out. Gligar, it's gonna go down to 2 Seed Flares, I believe, or maybe 3. Yeah, so it goes down to 2 Seed Flares and a Dazzling Gleam, and then Zeraora goes down to the Earth Power, trying to knock it out with a close combat. So, yeah, that was that game. Unfortunate miss on the Chandelure. Lets the Shaman live when they risked it for no reason, but, you know, that's the game we play. So, 6-0 for Shaman. Everything else just gets knocked out. Second to last game, we have the San Francisco Deltas against the Wano Kuni Ronins. They do get a 5-0 victory over the Ronins, bringing Celesteela, Mew, Keldeo, Nidoqueen, Mega Charizard X, and Snorlax, as the Ronins bring Tapu Lele, Gastrodon, Alolan Mox, Cinderace, Hitmonlee, and Licky Licky. So, yeah, this is also a really strange one. Like, they didn't really have anything that could break through both Celesteela and Mew again. Or not again, or they didn't have anything to break through both Celesteela and Mew this game. So, here, you just trade Leech Seed and Wishes, and then Cinderace does come in on a Leech Seed. Does lose about, was that 27% just to the combination of Leech Seed and Protect. That's a common theme here. Every time Celesteela comes in, it's just able to get a bunch of chip damage on everything because nothing really appreciates being in against it except that Cinderace. So here, it's just a couple of switches. Right, Keldeo attempts to Toxic the Gastrodon. It does go ahead and take a Taunt as well, so it can't, you know, Toxic back or like recover anything against it. Here, they go into Muck on a Toxic, and the Deltas do go ahead and bring their Celesteela in against the Muck on a knockoff. Then the Ronins go ahead and switch back in their Cinderace on a missed Leech Seed. Go ahead and clip Bulk Up, and then a high jump kick is able to do 44% to the Keldeo that switches in against it. They get Toxiced, and then they switch out. Mega Charizard comes in for the Deltas, as the Ronins also switch out their Cinderace for their Muck. And then again, Charizard switches into Celesteela, Muck switches into Gastrodon, and then here, Celesteela into Keldeo, and Gastrodon into Cinderace. It's just a common theme. There's just a lot of switching here. Keldeo is able to click Secret Sword, gets a crit on the Muck, who then attempts to Poison Fang the Keldeo. Really strange. Celesteela comes in on it, takes it, comfortably, as it is immune to it. As it clicks Leech Seed, Licky comes in to Heal Bell on the Leech Seed, and Keldeo is able to absorb some of that health. Keldeo goes ahead and clicks Sacred Sword on the Gastrodon that comes in against it, and then it clicks Taunt so it can't recover up, but they do play around that very nicely, clicking that Earth Power. Then Mew comes in on a Scald, doesn't get burnt, fortunately for it, as Mew clicks Will-O-Wisp on the incoming Muck. Muck attempts to get some nice damage with Pursuit, but it really only does a quarter of its health as they go Celesteela, and again, this common theme, whenever Cinderace comes in against the Celesteela, it just takes a lot of Leech Seed chip, attempts to bulk up, clicks High Jump Hick, and the Mega Charizard does take that very well. And then it goes down to Celesteela's Leech Seed. From here, it's just, Celesteela the game, like he can't really deal with it, so goes into Celesteela on the Licky, clicks Heal Bell, Celesteela gets a Leech Seed, goes back down to Keldeo on a Wish, gets some nice recovery off that Leech Seed from Celesteela, goes into Muck, clicks the Fighting Attack and knocks it out. In comes Tapu Lele as the Snorlax comes in, clicks Calm Mind and just attempts to get a lot of damage on the Snorlax with a Psychic under the terrain. Snorlax clicks Body Slam and then Protect to get the maximum amount of recovery. Tapu Lele then switches out, being at +1, into the Gastrodon as his opponent goes into Celesteela, who then doubles into their Keldeo on a recover. So Keldeo is able to get a Toxic off as Gastrodon clicks Earth Power, and here they reveal that the Keldeo also has Rest. So it is able to heal back up to full and takes a Scald comfortably well. Here Keldeo goes into the Snorlax as the Ronins bring in their Licky, and then they double out Snorlax into the Nidoqueen on a knockoff, get their rocks up, clicks Wish on Licky as his opponent goes into Mew, heals for nothing. Mew doubles out into the Celesteela on a Toxic, clicks Leech Seed again. Licky clicks Wish, goes into their Tapu Lele. Very risky play, could have been knocked out by a Heavy Slam, but his opponent just goes ahead and lets him go with Leech Seed. Here, Celesteela switches out into Mew, clicks a Spike, and then Gastrodon gets to Toxic that Mew, but it does trade Toxic on itself due to that Synchronize ability. And then here he just lets his Gastrodon go down to the combination of Psyshocks and the Toxic damage. Doesn't bother clicking Taunt or Recover, just lets himself get knocked out as he clicks Earth Power on the incoming Nidoqueen and is knocked out by the Toxic. Tapu Lele comes in, gets up a Calm Mind against the Celesteela, clicks Thunderbolt, and lives a Heavy Slam because of its Babiri Berry. Celesteela goes ahead and clicks Protect on the Psychic, and then Lele just clicks Psychic yet again. Mew comes in, outspeeds, clicks Psyshock. Hitmonlee is also knocked out by the Psyshock as it comes in, and then Licky, it can't really do anything by itself, right? So it just goes Keldeo on the knockoff, and the Deltas are just waiting for their Keldeo to wake up so they can click Secret Sword and win the game. So, very long one, 60 turns just about, but Mew is able to take 3 knockouts with side shots and the toxic damage that it got off with its Synchronize ability. Then Keldeo takes 2 knockouts and Celesteela takes 1, and then for the Ronins, Lele is able to take 1 knockout. Last game of the week, we have the Philadelphia Flygons against the Shamrock Snovers. The Flygons bring Rillaboom, Volcarona, Vanillix, Alolan / Clefairy, and Cortana, as the Slowbros bring Rapid Strike, Urshifu, Mega Altaria, Bronzong, Incineroar, Tentacruel, and Diggersby. Actually, that Urshifu is it's a single strike Urshifu. That's a mistake on my end as well. So, as for leads, the Snovers lead Bronzong as the Flygons lead Volcarona. It tries to get a sub up on the Rock Slide, then switching out, fearing the next Rock Slide. Clefairy comes in to click Stealth Rock on a Heavy Slam, and then Bronzong clicks Stealth Rock on the Soft Boiled. Here they just go for Heavy Slam again on the Rillaboom switch in, and then not wanting to be knocked off, they go into their Incineroar as the Rillaboom clicks Taunt. Incineroar goes ahead. Oh, they go ahead and trade knockoffs here, but here if Incineroar just clicks Fire Attack, something goes down. So not too sure what the game plan was here, so they switch out on the second knockoff into Vanillix as they get their Aurora Veil up, and with their taunt over, they go ahead and click Parting Shot into their Urshifu and attempt to get a knockout here with the Wicked Blow, which is, they click Poison Jab instead. Poison the Vanillix, take a solid amount of damage from the Blizzard, and then decide they want to click Wicked Blow for a knockout. Here the Flygons go into their Volcarona and knock it out with a Bug Buzz, as Tentacruel comes in, more than likely wanting to click Rapid Spin. And Volcarona goes ahead and clicks Substitute on that, gets a Quiver Dance up onto the Altaria that switches in. Altaria goes ahead and Mega Evolves as Volcarona gets another Quiver Dance off on the Body Slam. They click Psychic, and then they are knocked out by a critical hit Body Slam, but they do get a little bit of justice there as they do get the Flame Body Burn on it. Clary comes back in, clicks Stealth Rock as the Tentacruel switches in, get a Moonblast. Tentacruel goes ahead and clicks the Toxic Spike, and now Clefairy's just Thunder Waving everything it can as it heals back up, trying to stall out Bronzong's Heavy Slams, but it is taking more damage than it is healing. But Bronzong does get paralyzed in one turn, so it is able to heal back up to full. So they just go ahead and do this for a few turns. Finally, the Clefairy stops healing, clicks Moonblast, but it does get paralyzed again as then they go into their Diggersby, forcing them to switch out, but the Rillaboom is still knocked out by the return. So, knowing that it is locked into that, they go into their Alolan Sandslash as Incineroar comes in to Intimidate. They get those hazards off their field, and then click Swords Dance on, they click Earthquake on a Parting Shot again. Instead of just clicking the fire move that knocks something out, they're just trying to outplay for whatever reason. And then here, now they start clicking that Swords Dance as Altaria clicks the Heal Bell to let everything heal from their paralysis. Sun Slash clicks Swords Dance again, so now it's at +1, knocks out the Incineroar with a Life Orb Earthquake. Bronzong comes in as the Sand Slash clicks on another Swords Dance, not fearing that Bronzong. They then click Earthquake to knock out the Altaria, Earthquake again before they take a Hidden Power Fire from the Tentacruel. So they are put into range of the Life Orb recoil, so they are knocked out here. And then they can't really deal with the Bronzong with the combination of Kartana and Clefairy. So, yep, Bronzong knocks out the Kartana with 2 Body Press. And then Clefairy comes in and gets 2 KO'd by the Diggersby. So yeah, here, Volcarona able to get a 1 knockout, very clean, and then a Alolan Sand Slash being able to take 3 knockouts this week was also really nice. And then for the Snovers, we do have the Single Strike Urshifu, not Rapid Strike, Mega Altaria and Bronzong able to pick up a knockout each there. Diggersby being able to pick up 2, and again the Sand Slash died to its own Life Orb recoil, so nothing was able to claim that. And then as for league leaders, for the second group, we have Shaman with 6 knockouts, right, as the sole first place. Then we have Tornadus Therian and Vileplume tied for second place with 4 knockouts each. Mew at 4th with 3 knockouts. Then Hitmontop and Alolan Sand Slash tied at 5th with 3 knockouts and 1 death. And tied for 7th place, we have Diggersby, Keldeo, and Megalopony, all with 2 knockouts each. And then at 10th, Conkeldurr with 2 knockouts and 1 death. Then these are the standings for the first week of play. And here is the playoff race so far, right? So we have the Arcanites being the winners of their division, as well as the San Francisco Deltas with the Entei and Komos trailing right behind. And then in the Judgment Conference, we have the LA Lapras and the Meowsticks as their division winners, and the Snovers and Tauros trailing behind. Everyone else getting knocked out of playoffs if we were starting playoffs week 1, right? So, yeah, guys, with that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. I'd appreciate any likes, any comments, any thoughts down below. And if you were to subscribe to my channel. And this has been Christian Deputy. Thank you very much for watching.